With mere moments to spare, let us get the morning ruckus begun. I'm Jay Payne, bringing you things you might have heard for today, being Monday, March the 6th, 2023. Doing a bit expanded today, doing something I hadn't done in a while, expanding the world of Jay Clifton Payne to give you a bit of a taste of what we're doing with things you might have heard for a while. So I want to remind you that if you're liking what you're seeing and you're not getting it every single Monday through Friday, you've got to go to our website, which is this is a conversationproject.com, and you can see all the things behind the scenes. Plus, find the links to all the things you're missing so you can make sure you get this 5 days a week. Very quickly, we're going to give to you 10 stories from the weekend that are pretty cool. And they're pretty cool because you said so. You vetted these stories as conversational. We picked 10 of the top 30 stories, put them in a different order. So we'll tell you, explain which ones are hotter than the other ones. And so you can go on through your week and talk about things going on. And mostly for your morning, your coffee talk, your chats, and things like that. Remind you, once more time, things you might not have heard and all the things we do at The Conversation Project are found at theconversationproject.com. Now, we're doing this expanded thing because we're pledge driving. We'll get to that in a bit, but let's get to the stories right now. 10 headlines for the morning that were, of course, vetted by you, but curated for the news report by me. This is one of the biggest stories out there. Pretty much, you can't get any bigger, badder, worser than this one right here. And this is the headline that happened on Friday. Thursday, we talked about Alex Murdaugh being found guilty on all counts. 4 of them for murdering his wife and his son, I should say. Alex Murdaugh now has life in prisons, 2 consecutive life prisons sentences for these murders. Now, here's the weird thing about this. He still has about 100 or so different charges on a bunch of other things he has done. So basically, he proved to be a liar and a cheat and a murderer, and those other things will come to fruition as well. He will be charged. He will be taken to trial. He will see court in some way, or someone will see court in some way, and he will have to face some sort of prosecution, possible prosecution, on many, many, many more things. So he's not done with getting jail time right now. He's just done for the moment because right now, this one, the most egregious, quickest up, and it is done. Our next story is actually the top story from the weekend by leaps and bounds, if you will. And it's one I didn't expect to really pick up that much, but apparently you guys either love Jay Morant, and it could be because he plays here nearby in Memphis, or you love guns. Jay Morant reportedly brought a gun on team plane, could be suspended for 50 games. He's actually suspended for 2 games officially for bringing a gun on the team plane, and he did the whole I take full responsibility, all that stuff right there. Why he brought the gun, we don't know. Maybe it's because there's a larger content of people putting guns in their carry-on bags and being caught at airports. There's a record number of guns being flagged at airports in the last couple of years, and no one really knows why, but they know it is. Jay Morant joins the ranks of those who has been flagged for handguns carrying on a plane. And the really dumb thing is, it's a charter team plane. It's not like he's flying commercial or he's flying business class on Spirit Airlines. It's the team charter, and he did not unpack his gun from his bag. Kellyanne Conway and George Conway to divorce after 22 years of marriage. So you've seen the back and forth that Miss Conway and Mr. Conway have had in the last 6, 7, 8 years in politics. Kellyanne Conway, who has, of course, a representative for Mr. Donald Trump, and George Conway, who was actually a Republican, who actually had a chance to be in the actual administration, somewhere down the line realized Trump was a weirdo and an idiot, and joined the Lincoln Project and tried to fight against Donald Trump while still being a Republican. This is not the old news from this is not an old style where a Republican and a Democrat are married and they fight different fights and they love each other but they make it fun. This is not that entertaining. This is just 2 people who used to work well together, then they stopped, and then everything went to hell. Of course, you can also add some of their issues with their daughter Claudia doing a whole bunch of weirdness on her own, and the stress of family, and see the breakup of what's going on here. We're not going to go deep into and say all the breakup stuff. The news headline is the fact that Conway and Conway are no longer going to be joint Conways. That's the news headline of that one. Read the link deeper into the story to see how this thing plays out. But as of now, the Conways are announcing they are about to get divorced after 22 years of marriage. Another Southern California snow, I'm getting ahead of myself. Residents stranded for another week. Now, this is a story that's just bizarre. It really is bizarre with the extra snow in the Bernardino Mountains that is causing issues for East Los Angeles and much of Southern California experiencing harsh winter cold, actual snow. There are people near-ish, not quite in LA, but near LA, who live in the mountains, that live, up above in the elevation, who've dealt with so much snow they can't get out. I've seen stories on CNN on people who basically dug themselves out for a weekend, came down to get supplies, and then went to turn back up. And then the Forest Service said, no, we can't let you back up for about a week because of more snow. It's becoming a nightmarish hell in California, on top of the normal nightmarish hell that California tends to be with all the snow, which is ironic because you don't really contemplate snow, ice with hell, but ice is making California even more hellish this week. Cardi B says her and Offset's Cardi B and Offset meal, that's in quotes, brought McDonald's some of their biggest collaboration net revenues after some McDonald's franchises refused to promote the meal. Now, the biggest thing, this thing is kind of turned into a bunch of stuff. It started off with, hey, Cardi B and Offset have a meal. Then it was like, hey, there's no way Cardi B is eating that little bitty cheeseburger. And then it's, hey, my McDonald's isn't promoting this thing because they don't seem like Cardi B. Now, Cardi B is speaking out saying, I don't know what's wrong with you people, but because we have this collaboration, it's doing well. We're making money. McDonald's is making money. Everybody's making money. What's wrong with these people who don't want to promote my meal? Now, I have been on record on this when we started talking about this, that all these collaboration meals are great. They're just collaborating with people who are out of my demo because I don't listen to a lot of hip hop. I don't listen to a lot of young folk stuff, if you will. And most of the folks I don't actually know. The J Balvin, I still don't know who he is, but he had a pretty tasty meal for a while. That was a collaboration that people got into. Maybe McDonald's needs to be more diverse in their collaborations, or maybe people just need to shut the hell up and just eat the damn burger. We will see how this plays out. Cardi B saying, hey, we're making money. McDonald's is making money. Everybody's making money. What's wrong with the losers who don't want to make money? Which is a very, 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 very good question. What's wrong with the loser franchises who don't want to make money? Now, this next story brings cheers, joy to my heart. Marianne Williamson begins longshot 2024 challenge to Biden. And here's the kind of weird thing about this. She's coming out here not so much speaking love and happiness, but saying, these politicians are screwing things up. I have ideas. What? Ideas? Marianne Williamson has come to the fame of the world as a spiritual type advisor type, as a motivational speaker type, as a person who does bring love and happiness and sort of the spiritualness of that. She brought that in her last run for president when she ran against Biden, 8 years ago. And now she's bringing the pain again. I guess not 8 years. I guess it was just 4 years ago. She's bringing it again. And she is going to do this, coming out swinging, saying that Joe Biden's a nice man, but he made some promises. He's not keeping them. This is the way things would go. And also saying the Republicans aren't very nice people. They're making promises. They're trying to make them happen. They're not very good for anybody. I've got plans to stop this. Marianne Williamson is coming out as the first person to basically primary Joe Biden, and we're going to see how this works. She has no shot of winning, period. Maybe she comes as a third-party folks and takes away some votes from Biden. Maybe. She has no shot at winning the nomination for the Democratic Party, but she's making a name for herself. Who knows what she's looking for? Maybe she wants to be the next Secretary of Transportation. Maybe she thinks that Pete Buttigieg is bad at his job, and she could be better. We shall see. Our next story is this one. Click the button and it goes forward. Guy who joined OnlyFans for a laugh, that's in quotes, quits apprenticeship after earning £49,000. So I'm trying to find the number. The number is not in my recap, but it's many, many, many millions of dollars. He's basically, whatever he was doing before his internship, because internships don't pay anything, he basically paid to do that, was making about £4.50 an hour for the internship. He joined OnlyFans for just a joke, as he said, just to see what happened. And after making $49K, he figured he was done with his internships. Now, we bring up OnlyFans obviously because people click on these things, and that is true. This got a lot of responses for the weekend, but we also want to make sure that you understand what the whole thing is. OnlyFans has a bad reputation, mainly earned for people using it for sexualized content because it's a privatized website. It's not all sexualized content. Some people are just selling books and records and things like that. So it's just a way to get your fans to pay for yourself directly. The reason why some people make so much money, well, it's usually the cheesecake or the beefcake. Let's be honest. Let's move on while we're being honest and talk about Funko Pops. As Funko Pop collectible plans to toss millions of dollars worth of inventory after realizing it has more than it can afford to hold on to. This happens. We talked about, it was either Thursday or Friday, the Magic the Gathering cards that were found in the landfill. Today, Funko's dumping $300 million worth of the Pop toys. This sounds like a problem. It is. The inventory is a problem. Now, how they got to this problem, that's a business problem that they'll have to figure out so they don't get so far ahead. And once you get a number where you have too much inventory, you can't clear it, you can't sell it. It's sort of the paradox of business. You may have too much inventory that's out there, and it may not be perishable. It's not like this was pork bellies that literally would spoil, and you'd have to just kind of dump them in a yard and use them for fertilizer. These are physical things that are basically go into the landfill. Now, somebody will probably snap some of these up, and someone will probably put them on the black market. And somebody will probably sell them aftermarket somehow, a big chunk of these. But they've got $300 million that they can't sell on their market because they're over leveraged with stuff. Little business in your things this morning. Oh, by the way, a second Norfolk Southern train derails in Ohio. Check that out. Norfolk Southern train derailed near Springfield on Saturday evening, but no hazardous materials were released. People living within 1,000 feet of the derailment were initially advised to shelter in place out of caution. Of course, February 3rd incident, which we're still talking about right now, a month later, where it's dealing with toxic plumes and all sorts of things, and fish and animals dying, and people all basically losing their minds over what's happening there. This one, obviously not as bad, but it's still a train derailed in Ohio. And finally, another business one here, QVC. QVC is basically what got me through, along with doing programs like this on news. Watching QVC people sell stuff, obviously, enough, what got me through my some pandemic times, and previous to that, some unemployment times. Watching those people do their things maybe, gave me hope that I could get back on the air somehow. This one is a big downer for me. QVC layoffs 2023. 400 employees, including top on-air hosts, let go by parent company. Curate Retail Group announced Tuesday that it had cut a number of roles on its QVC and HSN teams, as well as its corporate shared services teams in the U.S. Carolyn Gracie and Dan Hughes said that they were leaving QVC on Wednesday, urging their followers to follow their new Facebook page for many adventures ahead. Hughes thanked his viewers for watching him on the network's programs for more than 3 decades and said he will now focus on writing and spending more time with his family and friends. So sad news for QVC and HSN fans and, of course, people that shop there. Like I say, anytime I see someone in media lose a gig, it hurts my heart because I've been there. I'm still trying to crawl my way into some sort of large media gig and not just internet yakety yak. So I understand how this goes, but I also understand how the business goes, which we'll get to the business part of this in a moment. I told you we're pledge driving, so we'll get to that. But this is big news in the business world and media world. Although you may not watch much QVC or HSN, it helps bolster up that cable company that you're still subscribed to, and they're laying off a whole bunch of people. Let's get to our teaser story for this morning. This is a story that we may chat up if you deem it worth chatting up. And you can do that simply by going to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and Twitter.com/TH_conversation. Engage in the story, like it, love it, hate it. The more engagement it gets, higher chance we get to talk about it for tomorrow. Tomorrow there'll be 8 stories pulled from the top 15 stories of the day. Your headline: Walmart set to close all stores in Portland amid record-breaking retail theft. Now, apparently there's only 2 locations left in the Portland proper area, but those folks up there in Oregon know how to Oregon stuff from Walmarts, and there's just so much theft coming from just 2 stores that they're basically going to shut down and give up on Portland. Essentially, abstain from Portland, just pull out of Portland. Is this worth talking about? Do you think so? Or other stories worth talking about? We're posting news stories every 50 minutes on these feeds, so go to thisisaconversationproject.com and see more about how this works. And, of course, The feeds are on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and Twitter.com/TH_conversation. Like, love, share, and just engage in the stories out there. Now let's talk about money on our end. Can you be one of our sponsors? Would you like to help keep us going on? Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/Zenni, Zenni. This is a conversationproject.com/Zenni for Zenni Optical. They will get you the best glasses you've ever had because they're good glasses. They're great glasses and they're awesome prices. I've been buying Zenni Optical glasses for maybe a decade because they offer up great frames at great prices. In fact, I've been buying the exact same frames for maybe a decade because they're great frames at a great price. The lenses are good. You can also get them. I have pairs of sunglasses. I have pairs of sports glasses. Go in my gym bag. You can get great glasses for your family, your mother-in-law, your kids. Anybody who wants a good pair of glasses, they need to go to Zenni Optical and they need to use our link, which is an affiliate link, which is thisisaconversationproject.com/Zenni. That means it costs you nothing extra, but we get a couple pennies off the sale because we brought you in the door. Thank you so much to Zenni Optical being one of our longtime sponsors, and thank you so much for taking care of me personally with my glasses. I pay for my glasses. I buy all my glasses via Zenni Optical, which allows you to make sure I have plenty of pairs of glasses because the standard answer to wear your glasses is usually on my head, and when they're not, they're in another set in the drawer from Zenni Optical. Very quickly, this is theconversationproject.com is our home online where you can find all the details about the stuff that we do. There are links to everything we have, the various iterations of this show, which is in the audio podcast form, on various different video forms and replay forms, the newsletter as well. And of course, we are broadcasting onto the J. Cleveland Payne pages on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and the J. Cleveland Payne page, that thing, on Facebook as well. We used to do this every Monday and do a little bit spot to make people let people see what's going on. We're doing this just because we had a lot of stuff going on. We had some changes, and we're pledge driving. Pledge drive part. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/partnerships, and if you believe we're giving you some pretty good content and you want to keep what's going on, find ways you can partner up with us. You can directly fund the Conversation Project right here by going to our links there to have links to get us money. We don't turn down any money, and there's various ways to get it to us. Check out the partnerships page and see how you can directly partner up with us. The most important thing you can do is follow us on our actual platforms, on our actual YouTube page, or actual Facebook page, and get the things there. So search for the Conversation Project. Look for the blue little speech bubble thing, and that is us. Find us, follow us, be a part of us, be a part of the gang, and follow us and make sure you're on the feeds and you're voting up stories. That is number one thing you can do. But if you think we're doing good enough, want to help to keep us going a little bit longer, we're trying to get an extra $200. That's it. We don't need much. An extra $200 a month by the end of March. This is the 6th of March. We're doing our best to raise up to an extra $200 worth of contributions, ongoing contributions. If you want to help us with that, check it out at the partners page, or just check out thisisaconversationproject.com in general and see what you may like to see there. And now, let's have some fun. You made it this far. We got through the news. Let's go through the fun things. Let's start off with today things you might not have heard about. We always start off with the birthdays. And we had a lot of fun birthdays today. Oddly enough, at the bottom of the list, Shaquille O'Neal is the baby of the list in our listing we got at 51 years old. Martin Cove, of course, Cobra Kai. And he's big these days, 77 years old. And Maura Kelly, who only thing I think anybody really remembers her from is One Tree Hill. She was like the awesome teen star and then young star, and then One Tree Hill came, and that's pretty much all we remember her from because I can't think of anything in particular she's done. She's probably done some Lifetime movies or something. 55 years old today, but she's still mighty awesome. Also throw some love out on the birthday scene for a couple extra folks, just in case these don't quite float your boat. They include Rob Reiner turning 76, also John Stossel, birthday twin, 76, Tom Arnold, who is actually going to show up in the upcoming True Lies TV show, 64, D.L. Hughley at 60, and Connie Britton, the actress from Nashville, and other things. I think she was in 911. I think she was in that for a little bit. 56 years old on the day. Today is Oreo Cookie Day. And so if you can't find a day to celebrate, get yourself some Oreo cookies. Everybody basically loves Oreo cookies. And although some people are a bit indifferent because some people will split them up because that's how you do as a kid and only eat the frosting, not eat the cookie. Some people eat the cookie and not the frosting, and that's really weird. But however you eat your Oreos and when you eat them in, you should celebrate them today. Things that also you could celebrate today for some reason, but I don't know why, It is Kashmir Pulaski Day. I don't know what that means, but it is. It might be that might be Count Pulaski. I actually live in Pulaski County in Arkansas. There might be Count Pulaski. I don't think his first name is Kashmir. It's Alamo Day. Remember the Alamo. That's today. You can remember that. You can celebrate your dentist on today, or also Frozen Food Day. White Chocolate Cheesecake Day. Stick with Oreos. Oreos got you covered. Oreos got everything covered. Now, today in history, starting off with 1889 on this day, Bayer registered aspirin as a trademark. You've been getting aspirin for so many years based on that 1 year, just this one miracle drug from back in 1890. I'd say 1888, 1899. Reading is not fundamental this morning. 2018, way back when, the world's oldest message in a bottle was found in Western Australia, thrown in the German ship, from the German ship Paula 132 years before. Let me say that again. The German ship was named Paula. It was thrown in the sea 132 years prior to being found in 2018. What did it say? Do you have some Grey Poupon? No, that's not what it said. And 1988 as well, Forbes named Amazon founder Jeff Bezos the world's richest person for the first time. He's been the top person on and off and on and off, on and off since then. Right now, I guess he really is fighting against someone like Musk, I guess, the main folks. And then, Gates is there so often. And I don't think that Warren Buffett's actually at the top very much, because he's not doing that much stuff. But Jeff Bezos, who goes back and forth, and he's still up there, even though his ex-wife took a good chunk of his back and forth. Richest man, first time in 2018. Now, one more thing you might not have heard. If you've lost your keys, you might think it's best to search in the most obvious open area before moving on to more cluttered areas. But a study found our peripheral vision is better than we think, and being so thorough while searching might actually be a waste of time. The scavenger hunt style study, University of Aberdeen, found that people tend to spend a lot of time searching for objects in easy areas, even though it provides them with no new information. Researchers recommend you start searching for your keys, or whatever it is you've lost, in areas where you have had them hard to spot, so you don't check the table, the counter, the bed, and floor over and over again. Focus on areas that have the most clutter and scan through the locations where your peripheral visions wouldn't be able to pick up the shape of the item so easily. Piles of clothes, messy drawers, and crowded coffee tables are often better use of your time. If your keys are somewhere obvious, you wouldn't have found them, which, come to say, when I said earlier, where the answers are my glasses. Where are my glasses? They're usually on my head. And if they're not on my head, I put them down someplace and have to find an alternate pair of glasses. And it turns to they're not in front of me. They're not on the desk. They're not on the table. They're usually on the side, on a side table, or sitting on a pile of clothes or pile of books or things that I just took them off for a moment and didn't put them in eyesight. So this is something I obviously understand as well. It also goes to the big joke about the guy looking for his keys under the street lamp in the street. And he's doing that not because he lost his keys near the street lamp, but it's there because the light's better. Dad jokes, I got plenty. So thank you so much for joining us for today's version of Things You Might Have Heard. Today is Monday, March 6, 2023, as I speak these final words. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the program. Thank you for listening and watching on the extended versions for the day. And hopefully you've seen, if you're watching the extended version, and you haven't been here for a while, you've seen some of the things that we've done and you enjoy them and you want to stick around. Go to This Is a Conversation's actual pages. Search for us on YouTube, search for us on Facebook, search for us on Twitter, and you can see us broadcast every single weekday, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow, we'll give you 8 stories out of the top 15 from the day's worth of stories, about 30 stories or so, that I will vet as pretty cool, and I will put them in some order where they hopefully make some sense. I want to remind you all to stay hydrated, stay limber, stay on task for all the grand things we need you here for. And also remind you that we are needing some help. We're trying to gather, I'm being totally honest, $200 additional of resources going forward. And we're using the month of March to highlight that. So if you want to help us out with that one, if you got a couple coins you want to give us for a couple months, go to our website, thisistheconversationproject.com, click the partnerships page or /partnerships. Find ways you can help us keep things going. Now, in the meantime, thank you so much for just being here today. Love you all to pieces. Already posting stories for the weekend, Yeah, not quite there. For the rest of the week, starting tomorrow. Let's see what we start off with tomorrow with Things You Might Have Heard.